You had a laugh at this, right? You had a laugh, right? Please tell me you laugh when you see it. Who misled Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez on the TSTT cybersecurity breach, causing him to mislead the House of Representatives and by extension the country? That is the question asked by the writer of this article, which I cannot see. Nope, because the name of the writer is not here. I feel it's looking like the mobile version of the site, or is the AMP version. Anyhow. On November 1st last year, Gonzalez stated in Parliament in answer to a question that all the safety protocols had been triggered to prevent any compromise of TSTT's customer data. Of course, that's wrong. That didn't work out. So what they found out is as they went down, senior manager, blah, 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 blah. All right, so the communication, there are some communication errors. And where is the actual issue? Right there. The issue of TSTTs. Mark asks whether TSTT was able to determine which administrator's account and whether it was a disgruntled employee, because they were under the idea that, okay, in order for this to happen, somebody had to get the administrator account, right? The committee was told that for a data breach to have occurred, someone would have had to have access to an administrator's password. Wow, the grammar on this article is poor, boy. Anyhow, yeah, it gives a certain level of access. That is why the article don't have a name on it. The issue of TSTT's retrenchment of 2,000 employees has been raised by member Rudy Indarsing, following which Mark asks whether a disgruntled employee could have been selling out the information about the password. Mueller said the cyber attackers would have gotten access to an administrator's password. Asked whether the company identified which administrators were involved in the unfortunate development, Mueller said, "Yes, we have." Boom. Just drop the bomb there, drop the mic, and wherever sound effects you're saying. And that's the end of the article. This article like a cliffhanger, what?
Yeah, yes, we have. Tune in next week.
So,
yes, I mean, the further we go along is like, you think it's any more possible surprises and more bombs that could top that? I mean,
I think this could be a Netflix documentary if we sell it correct. This could be a documentary, and at least make it part of a cybersecurity documentary on Netflix, because they are correct. They're totally correct in asking the question. In order for this to take place, somebody has to get phished. Somebody has to get tricked, because brute forcing them passwords is nearly impossible when you have like a 16-character multi alphanumeric and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Forces know how people get into systems. They always target a human.
So that's why I think it is. Somebody was tricked, you think? Well,
no. Well, I thought it was somebody tricked, but what they're saying here right now is that
allegedly
somebody
is a disgruntled employee. Yeah, and they say that they identify the person. So I was wondering too, in Trinidad, right? Somebody who potentially sell sensitive information to a hacker or probably just leak it. We have laws or anything in place to potentially charge somebody for that. What crime that would be? Now what crime is? You sell sensitive stuff. Yeah, like. So if we have laws in place to deal with something or somebody like that,
I'd had to have some sort of laws, because they would class it under privacy. If you're in an office and you leak confidential documents, because we have all our laws are based on filing systems. So somebody take a file or folder out of the filing cabinet and carry it to somewhere else. I'm sure there's a law for that, and they will just have to try to.
Yeah, if that person have a good lawyer, I'm sure he could be like, that'll apply here. That is, but
oh, for sure, because they can prove it.
Yeah, well, they identify the person, but. Unless there are receipts when you want to chat with the hackers.
The reason they can't say it is because we have, but what can you do?
Yeah.
Because that person, you have no access logs, and you have emails, you have WhatsApp messages, you have whatever it is, all of them things are under encryption. And yeah, you're correct. We have no laws against that. And in the States, they would subpoena, they would ask WhatsApp to send you. Remember when we had Emailgate?
Yeah.
And they tried to figure out if the email was correct or whatnot, and they had to try to talk to Google, and Google was like, who are you? Like, what you want? Email some more servers.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that. Yeah. Okay, cool. No, you're not getting it. And the same thing will happen here in the States or in the EU, most likely. They would have laws that will say every company must be able to pony up data once there is a viable cause and a judge subpoenas it and that kind of thing. Trinidad, doubt it. Highly, highly, highly doubt it. But no, here's what I know. As teacher in this, whenever an employee has to get removed or laid off, the administrators have to disable their account before you tell them they're gone. Because you can't go and tell them they're gone because a disgruntled employee will be able to log in and mess up the system before they leave because they just found out that they get left. So most people, when they get laid off, they just come to work and realize my account not working anymore. And then they get a letter.
That is an ideal rule, and probably, I know Google probably do stuff like that, but in Trinidad, we have, if you look at some people contracts and the way HR does work, sometimes you need to give a month notice, you need to get 2 months notice. I know some places you need to get 6 months notice, so unless they pay you off at that point in time until you go home,
No. You can't tell me that IT manager or administrator who have access to make or break your company could get a month to continue having access when you go and lay them off. That don't make sense. That's not technology.
Some contracts have this, right? If you need to break a contract or if you need to leave, you need to give a month's notice, and it says both parties, right? So if I want to leave, I have to give a month's notice. So if the company want to get rid of you, they have to give you a month's notice, meaning, they're giving you is a little good feed that, they give you a month to find something else. So some people contracts have stuff like that, unless, one way you could get around that is if they pay you that month's salary until you go now. So they could get around that. That is if you want
No. Hear my argument. That's for normal employees.
Yeah.
That's for normal. In the IT department, there are specific things that you have to put in our contract because these people could sabotage things on a higher level or a worse level. So, like HR, how to know? All right, if we hire in a systems administrator, you had to put in their contract that, yes, you will get 1 month's notice, but your access privileges will be dropped, or you won't be able to log into the system because that is madness. That is madness. So it's not a disgruntled cleaner who would not flush the toilet.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, real faith in HR, in our HR and HR practices, and I forget what I was gonna say, but yeah, stuff like that, it don't always happen now, I was gonna say that something like that wouldn't necessarily be in your contract, or more be like a policy. It was a policy in terms of when somebody leave the organization and whatever, So
I agree.
To how people and policies is according to how people implement it. It don't necessarily always go smoothly.
I remember I was working for a company in Trinidad, and we had administrator privileges and rights and whatnot. And when somebody leave, you used to just get an email, disable this account now. And nobody used to ask any questions. We just disable the account and move on with life. And I don't know if they had a month, I don't know if they had a day or whatnot, but it had some people that get fired, like Lisa Agard fired. Like, all right, that's a day, you're done. And we just get to disable the account. And I'm telling you, true story, my phone rang and the person asked, Andre, how come I can't get into my computer?
Yeah.
And I was like, what do I say? I can't tell you that my boss tell me to thing because they say just disable it and don't tell anybody anything. What I supposed to do? So I knew, and that was in 2000. That was in 2000s when I was working there. I think that, okay, at least in private companies maybe, That's they should have that by now because that's a standard. That's a standard. And that's like you don't fire the network manager. He could go unplug cables and plug in two cables when he feel like it. And if you're planning that, you have to have like a plan to say, okay, you're terminated. Don't go back inside our room.
So like, all right, so you make a good thing there that is private, right? TSTT public. You think when they give people VSEF, they come and tell you get VSEF today and tomorrow you're gone? Or the change all the passwords and thing? You know, because that same story you give there, I know people who leave company 5-10 years now and they still have access to systems from before.
That's
Nobody ever go in and